Jashar, just outside London. One of my favorite countries, England. Used to go and visit every couple years. See more better here with freeprescriptionlenses.com. And it has been a long time coming, but you are now getting the Versace 3253 color GB1, which is the classic black in the 53 eye size. Let me take everything out of the packaging as it comes. Of course, your card of authenticity, your international warranty, all the things you will need, your Versace cleaning cloth, and the star of the show inside the Italian leather Versace case is the Versace 3253. Comes with a little plastic sleeve on the left temple to protect the temples from rubbing together while it's being shipped from Italy, and I will put that on there when I ship to you. Of course, this is model number 3253, color GB1, which is the classic shiny black in the 53 eye size. It has the Greco emblem on the side with the faceted metal that gives it its bling, both in gold and silver. So let's begin. I'm going to take out the original demo lenses, one of which says Versace, and of course you're going to receive all of that. And I'm going to take your frame and put it into the tracing element of my blocker. And before I hit start, I want to program this number into the computer, so years from now, should you ever need new lenses for this frame, I can send them right to you, and you can pop them in yourself after watching this video. So you are Secret Agent 682, which, ironically and lucky enough, was my number growing up. It was the first 3 digits of my parents' phone number, and it still is to this day. So 682 is a nice ring in my heart. So I'm gonna hit the start button. A little stylus is gonna pop up and go around and trace the inside bevel of the right side of the frame before doing the same thing on the left. Here at freeprescriptionlenses.com, where everyone loves a bargain and no one is disappointed in quality. You buy a genuine, authentic Versace frame and you'll receive 1 free pair of clear single vision prescription lenses or non-prescription fashion lenses. My receipt has my federal ID tax number, so if you have vision insurance or flex dollars, you will get reimbursed for this purchase, whether they are prescription or not. That is the shape that we'll be cutting. I'm going to send it on to the next screen. Now your pupillary distance is a total of 61, which divided by 2 for your 2 eyes is 30.5. I'm going to bring that down to 30.5. I do want to raise the optical center height up to, let's go to 21. We're going to go 2 above center. And we're going to come down here to the lensometer. I guess I'll need your prescription. And turn the fine tune, let's turn it on. Turn the fine tune knob to 150, the axis of the astigmatism for your right eye. One of these is going to put the power drum on -2 1/4. I've got a 50-50 chance of finding out which is the right lens. This is not it. Let me try this one. There we go. Now I'm getting the 2 1/4. Although, hang on, it should be on this side for the right eye. I'm going to flip that over. Each lens has the same power, 180 degrees apart, but because of your pupillary distance, this being rotated, this is going to be your right eye. Before it was over here, and then the lens would not cut out. So let's bring this back over here. Cut out meaning that the lens would be too small if it were flipped upside down because of the decentration for your pupillary distance. -2 1/4. Let me just check your astigmatism correction. -50, we're looking good there. And I'm going to put 3 dots on these lenses. The third dot never wants to cooperate. Let's make it. And of course this is the right lens, so we'll put an R on there. Let's do the same thing for the left. Put the power drum on -150. Axis wheel at 45. Rotate the lens until the spherical component comes in clearly. Check your astigmatism correction, and then put 3 dots on this lens. And this is the unright lens, so we'll put an L on there, which is Latin for not right, which is like me, it's not right either. If you guys missed any of that, let me recap. You knew it was coming. You knew it was. Alright, so I'm going to put, the reason I put those dots on there, it tells me that it's oriented in there just perfectly. So that blue cross is the geometric center of your frame. Your eye is just above that inside this orange crosshairs. It's just above that in inset. So we're going to raise everything up. Get all those 3 dots lined up in there perfectly. Check one thing. The lens is large. Oh! I need a block. I need Jenny from the block. I need to attach this to your lens while it is cutting. So I need 2 double-sided adhesive stickers, of which I've got 2 left. Oops, wait, no, there's there. So we'll put those in there. We've got 2 left. Throw this in the trash, clean up as I go along. I wish I could recycle that, but it's a shiny wax paper. Someone let me know if that can be recycled. So on the back is a silver button that is a magnet. It's going to do its job twice today. The first time it's going to attach itself to another magnet here in the arm. Let me pull, let me grab one, put that one there. Pull the paperweight and make the black side sticky, line up the magnet. Make sure everything is still lined up properly, and it is. We're going to hit that button. The arm's going to come down and place a block onto the right lens. Let's do the same thing now for the left lens. Pull the paperweight and make the black side sticky. I do not have to change your pupillary distance because it was divided by half. Get everything lined up in there just right, just so. Make sure the lens is large enough, and it is. And we're going to hit that button. The arm's going to come down and place the block onto the left lens. So this is the edger. This is what's going to do all the work while I run my mouth. It costs $40,000. It weighs 200 pounds. I recommend everyone go out, buy their own, put it on your kitchen counter, and then you can cut your own lenses at home, and you won't need this guy with the 2 thumbs and bad jokes to do it for you. The actual cutting wheel is on the left. It's going to act like a heavy grit sandpaper to grind away your lens material. It's actually a diamond crusted wheel that'll grind your lens down until it's the final size. This wheel in the center of that channel, that little valley, that's what's going to put the V-shaped bevel onto the lens so it stays inside the bevel of the frame. So now the magnet is going to do its job a second time today. Well, before we do that, let's pull up the shape onto the computer. 682, that is the shape we'll be cutting. These are polycarbonate lenses. If they were plastic, high-index plastic or Trivex, I would select that. I'm not going to polish the edge of the lens because it's not going to be seen in this frame. I'm not going to put a bevel on the front convex surface because it won't protrude out of the frame. I'm only going to put a safety bevel on the rear. I can do a light bevel or a heavy bevel. I'm going to do a slightly heavier bevel on the rear concave version of the lens. Now, press that on there firmly. Let the magnet do a job a second time today as it attach itself to another magnet there in the chuck. Or as you know, I like to call it the Charles because I don't know this machine well enough to call it Chuck. Hit the green arrow, which is start in every language. The door closes, the clamp shuts, and then the lens is going to be traced by 2 white styluses, making sure that it's large enough to fit into the frame. First go around, and you can see as it's going around, tracing the shape of the right lens. Then the old carpenter saying, measure twice, cut once. It's measuring the thickness of the lens at every point to know exactly and precisely where to place the bevel so you have the least amount of edge thickness showing. I could move the bevel forwards. I know the lens moved backwards, but if I move the bevel forwards on the lens, that would make the lens go further back in the frame, or I can move the bevel backwards. That would force the lens further up into the frame, depending on the prescription, but you're not going to have any edge thickness with your prescription in this frame. But I do cut some very strong lenses all day long for free when you buy the frame from me, and that does become a little bit more critical with the higher prescriptions. Now, if you see light flickering in the background, that is water there to catch the optical sawdust. Polycarbonate lenses cut dry, where plastic, high-index plastic, and Trivex cut wet, meaning that water sprays onto the lens for the entire duration of the cutting cycle. Having said that, water will spray onto this lens for the last 20 seconds just to wash away any optical debris that you may see beginning to form on the lens. But polycarbonate lenses are 40% thinner and lighter than regular plastic. They are virtually unbreakable. These are high-impact ballistics grade lenses. It's the same material that our soldiers wear overseas in combat zones to protect their eyes from debris and shrapnel. It's also the same material that OSHA makes their safety glasses out of to protect your eyes when on factory floors and other things. It also has 100% UVA and UVB protection, as well as a premium scratch coating. And of course, one thing I should point out for transition lenses, it's still a great protectant of harmful blue light that comes in from today's electronic devices such as cell phones, tablets, computer screens, the works, as well as the sun. Transition lenses are a great form of blue light protection. Of course, it's going to protect it while outside in the sun, when the most intense form of blue light, which comes from the sun, which still is the source of all our life. Just remember that you're standing on a planet that's evolving and revolving at 900 miles an hour. It's orbiting every second, so it's reckoned. The sun, that is the source of all our power. The sun and you and me and all the stars that we can see are moving at 1,000,000 miles a day. I can't remember. It's been a long time since I've seen the movie. Now, if you notice, your lens is completely flat around the edges, just like a nickel. If I were to take it out now, it would stand up on the counter. It's now getting the V-shaped bevel cut into the lens, a knife-like edge. A very dull knife like myself, but a knife-like edge nonetheless. In fact, your lens will be so sharp when this is done that you might be able to cut through a piece of wet tissue, providing you soak the tissue in a bucket of water overnight or for several years, and then pop the lens out of the frame, and using all your might and a hammer and a chisel and a car and the earth, that, by the way, in the sun, that is the source of all our power, you might be able to cut through a piece of wet tissue. I'm being playful with the Jashar. He has been waiting long enough for these lenses. He's been saving up and saving up. He's been communicating. The guy is a good kid. I've mentioned that you should go into optics one day. I know the world is still ahead of you, but just a thought. The guy likes glasses. He asks a lot of questions. Very bright kid, as most of them are in London, unlike the kids here that, well, they can tell you everything about the Kardashians, which in a way is still a good thing to know in its own way. All right, we're going to open that up. I opened that door with my mind. I could do other things with my mind. Well, actually, I can't. I really can't do anything else with my mind. Who am I kidding? All right, so I'm going to dry everything off there. I do want to, you know, while I've got this, while I got it, let me clean that outer dot. Dot, be gone. Okay, so make sure there's no optical sawdust on the edge of the lens. Now I'm going to go ahead and see if it mounts first time around. I'm going to tuck the lens in at the outside corner and use my thumbs pressed down at the nose. It does not want to go in, so I usually go down 1/10 of a millimeter each time. I'm feeling crazy today. I'm going to go down 0.15. That's 0.5, 0.10, 1/10 of a millimeter, 0.15. Let's put it in, hit retouch. The door closes again, the clamp shuts, and then the lens is going to be taken back to the groove wheel. I do not want to force the frame into the lens. I don't want the frame to stretch, or what we in the industry call roll, meaning that if you can imagine your frame being a gutter, if the lens were too large, the bottom of the frame, this part right here, would roll outwards, giving you an ugly cosmetic look as well as shortening the life of the frame. I am a perfectionist. You want someone like me cutting every pair of lenses that gets shipped worldwide, and since you are across the pond in jolly old England, I think that's how you pronounce it. It's not like you're in the neighborhood where you can just pop over and I can take it down by hand. No, it's got to be perfect. Perfect this time around. Back to, so this little lever that is moved out has a spinning wheel on it. Something you would find at the end of a Dremel tool. That's applying the safety bevel to the rear concave surface of the lens. Should any portion of this lens protrude from the back surface of the frame onto the cheek, this would be nice and smooth. Except the real reason I do it, as you have seen and about to see again, Jashar, I want you to open the door with your mind. Hey, well done. First day on the job, you're already nailing it. Nailed it. So, dry everything off. So I was just watching a movie the other day. I give it a year. What is it with not saying awesome in England? You guys don't like to say that? You guys say brilliant instead? It's not like I say awesome a lot anyway, but that was a pretty funny movie. My wife didn't like it for some reason, but then again, my wife doesn't have a sense of humor. Oh, if she watches this, I'll be sleeping in my car tonight. So the real reason I put that safety bevel on the rear concave surface of the lens, and that concludes your vocabulary lesson of the day, is that when I tuck it in the outside corner and push down with my thumbs, I do not want the lens to mar any portion of the frame that is there. Now it snaps in easily. Let's go ahead and do the unright lens. Flip that over to unright. Line up the magnet in the Charles, the Chuckster, the Chucky baby, the Chuckarama, the Dr. Chuckster. Hit the green arrow, which is start in every language. The door closes. And for those of you who who may be asking your question at home, which is a strange thing to be doing right now. But yes, I am caffeinated. Thank you very much for asking. First one of the day came in a little bit early. It is now 8:35 on Thursday, May 24th, 69 degrees in my hometown. I could be outside enjoying a nice cool morning, but no, came into work to do this video so I can get it shipped over to jolly old England as soon as possible. So in just a moment, the lens will drop down onto the cutting wheel. Cut, 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 cut. Go cut, creator. Old school. All right, so let's come down here to the old lensometer and turn the fine tune knob back to 150 from 45 to 150. 150. Put up. Let's take the block off. Now I want to dry this. This has gotten wet during the cutting cycle. I want to use my lab approved drying device, which is the palm of my hand. Rub it on there. Oh yeah, that's dry. That's very scientific. So now we've got this. We're going to add this to my collection. It is beautiful artwork. It truly is. So should I put it on the bottom? Look at that little optical sawdust there. I'm trying to increase the diameter of the base because it was getting a little top heavy. We want to do so. Let me put it down here at the base. For your next pair, this is you. I'm going to put a blue dot on it. That's my yellow pen. Let's put a blue dot so you know this is yours in all the other videos. You can see that, okay? Since he watches my videos and comments on them, that one will be yours. Stick that there. Now we'll come down here, put it in over that black dot, which is your pupillary distance. We're at 150. Or your PD for the right eye. Check the power. And I'm getting, this is way off. I'm gonna have to remake these. You're never gonna get these. Oh wait, correction, that is correct. -2.25. All right, you will be getting these. So -2.25, -50. So when I spin the wheel, hopefully you guys can see this. I don't know if you can see, there's 3 straight lines inside there. And if I were to move this, it would break and then come back. Let's see if I can get that into focus about right there. Out of focus, in focus. You should see 3 skinny lines. And then, that's because the unit of measurement is called a diopter, spelled D-I-O-P-T-E-R. You're on the 9th rung of a ladder. You need 9 steps of far-sighted correction. You are nearsighted. With your glasses off, everything is much too large. That's why there's a minus sign. It will minify down to the correct size. Now, once everything is the correct size, we have to correct for your astigmatism, which is what makes 6s and 8s look alike, or the letters P and F. And without it, things would just be fuzzy. So it's the fine tune knob, and we're going to turn that fine tune knob to 150. A straight line is 0 to 180, with 90 being in the center. We're going to turn it past the 90 meridian to about 150. So let's check your astigmatism correction. We're going to end up with a total combined power of -275. Let me see if I can do this. It'll go from 3 skinny lines to 3 thick lines. Let me take a look inside, and that's what we've got. Good. We can see that. All right, so these first 2 numbers are real values to be concerned with. This last number could be anywhere from 0 to 180. Now, your left eye, you only need 6 steps of correction, but you need 4 steps of astigmatism correction. We'll end up with a total power of -250. So we'll come back down here to the lensometer, the edger. I'm going to learn what these things in the lab do one of these days. Dry everything off, run my thumbnail around, and actually while it's off, because when possible, I don't like to get the chemicals near the frame, so I'm going to clean those dots off when possible. And now's as good a time as any. Let's go ahead and tuck the lens in at the outside corner first. Using my thumbs, push down at the nose, and it snaps right in. Take the block off, pull the sticker off, dry it off. Let's use the back of my, I've never done that before. I'm drying it off with the back of my hand. See, I want to do something special for you, Jashar. Stick that on there next to your other one. So these two, let me put the white one there on top, right, pointing at your blue sticker. There you go. That one's yours. You know it's yours forever now. Come down here to the lensometer, spin the fine tune knob back to 45. Read the power. And I am getting -150, exactly halfway between 1 and 2. -150. We're going to check 4 diopters, 4 quarter diopters, which is a total of 1. And we end up at, with the 3 thicker lines, at minus 250, exactly halfway between 2 and 3. I tell you, I could have done a better job if I'd cut these lenses myself. So your pupillary distance is 61. Let's flip the card around. Put my thumb against, put the PD stick against my thumb on your right lens, and then we hold it up. I know it's a smear, but the middle of that dot is 61, so that is cut well. Let's go ahead and for fun check the OC height, getting 21, just as I had programmed it to do. Now this is the portion in every video that as I clean your lenses. I mentioned there's free shipping anywhere in the US, but of course you are not in the United States, so there is international shipping involved with this purchase, but that's okay. I'm going to clean everything off, but I'm going to get these in standard alignment. But what I was going to say was, when you get these in the mail, there's a small chance that these could fit too loose, which would be too loose or too tight. However, there's an 80% chance that one side is going to sit higher than the other. That's because 80% of people have one ear that is higher than the other, and I'm no exception. I'll show you why I'm part of that 80% in just a moment. But because of that statistic, 99% of all optical shops will do free adjustments if you ask them. So just stop by your local place, just tell them if something is too loose or too tight, or if it's sitting crooked. And only takes about 30 seconds to a minute to adjust a pair of glasses perfectly. But I'm going to get them in a standard alignment first, also known as a 3-point stance. The 3 points are 1, 2, and the bottom of the frame being 3. I press down. There is no wobble. When I say wobble, I take mine off and press down. They wobble on the counter, but they sit level on me. For those of you keeping score at home, yes, this is my new Versace. It is the 3245, which is the blue tortoise. Can you see that blue in there? With the shiny silver, which matches the shiny silver that I now rock on the side, my wisdom highlights. And of course the blue matches my shirt, and the temples match my wisdom highlights on the side of my head that I'm starting to get. Makes me look smart. Let me flip it. I gotta fool people somehow. Flip this over, press down. There is no wobble. Close each temple to make sure they overlap perfectly. Look at that Greco emblem, that gold and the silver rock in it. That's a nice frame. You did well. It's like getting a Mercedes on your 16th birthday. But I'm going to flip that and make sure that they each overlap perfectly and that neither one is askew. That's good. Now, I'm sending out not only instructions on how to care for your frame and lenses so they'll last you for years, but also for your cleaning cloth, the one that I'm going to provide, as well as the Versace cleaning cloth. So those two, and your case, so you can care for these for years. No other seller on the internet does that. Plus, I'm also sending out a selfie request. Jashar, you know you got to send me your selfie. You just got to. You got my email. Send me a selfie with them clear and dark so I can put it on the website. That way you can tell people you're an international Versace model, of which you will be. Now this is what your lenses look like clear. You have the Transitions Extra Active Gray. So let's go ahead and get those activated. I'm going to put them in this box and expose them to a strong burst of UV light. Excuse me. Now, as you can see, it takes about 30 to 45 seconds for transition lenses to darken. It takes a little bit longer when you come back inside, 45 seconds to a minute 15 to return back to virtually clear. Now, the other thing, all transition lenses will get dark on day one. They're going to continue to darken every day for the first couple weeks or exposed until they reach their final hue. After that, they'll work for years at maximum performance. The only time the Transition Signature 7 won't work is if you're inside of a car. Your windshield absorbs the sun's harmful ultraviolet rays, so your dashboard doesn't crack from sitting in the sun all day. That's why transitions don't get dark in a car. Now, you have the Transitions Extra Active, so they will get 30 to 50% dark inside of a car. Now, the other thing about them is they're temperature sensitive, meaning they will get darker when it's 85 and below than they will when it's 95 and above. Excuse me, I've got a little tickle. Now, I remind everyone that when it's 100 degrees outside, you're miserable, they're miserable. Nobody works 100% when it's 100 degrees. But the Transitions Extra Active will get darker in hotter weather. It's designed for people, extra active people who are outdoors more. So this is the first time they've been activated. Don't worry, Jashar, they'll keep getting darker than this. Come on, we talked about this. Don't you remember? Pay attention. Jeez. Okay, so that's it. If you like what you've seen, or if you didn't like it, nonetheless, subscribe to my YouTube channel because you like the punishment. Or you can follow me on Facebook or Instagram as Free Prescription Lenses. You can follow me on Twitter at FreeRxLenses. If anyone has any questions, you can simply click the Contact Me button on the website, or go directly to me by email, freeprescriptionlenses@gmail.com, or leave your question or comment, if it's nice, and wonderful and charming and sweet, you can leave your comment below. And if it is a good question, leave that too. That way other people can benefit from your inquisitive nature. So Jashar, just outside of London, England. I think that is how you pronounce it, right? So I hope you enjoyed watching as I cut your prescription transitions XTRAactive lenses for your Versace 3245 color GB1 in the 53i size. This also comes in the 55. And hopefully everyone else has got the chance to see how I bring that love and feeling back to glasses. Thank you.